everyone, and welcome to our G&A podcast under our special, brought to you by Sober Oni and
Drooby Doo.
Yes, this is a special under our edition, which we hope to accomplish. Anything else?
No, not really.
We're in studio today. We're both in the same place, so if we're blowing your eardrums out, that's why.
Yeah. We're also drinking, so
yeah. So
I don't know.
We're
I don't
more
know
belligerent than usual.
I don't know about him, but I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling great. Great until we get to Kuzu no Honkai, but we'll get there when we get there. So first, let's go with Akiba's trip. So this episode was more surreal and trippy than normal. It was basically about Tomatsu breaking Niwaka's doll or figure, and then he had to get a part-time job to pay it back. And it turns into like some kind of cult like craziness that was super surreal and super weird and trippy. And then that was pretty much the episode. It was him becoming a slave to corporate Japan, I guess, was the theme.
Yeah, it literally was. Like to a point, basically he works as a butler at like a butler maid cosplay cafe. And they got paid in thank yous as opposed to money.
They only work for thank yous, and it was super cult-like, where at first he was like, what the fuck is this? And then eventually he was like, no, I need more thank yous. Everyone loves me. Everybody appreciates me if I get more thank yous.
Exactly. I don't have anything particular to say about the episode. It was a funny episode. Pretty good. Shout out to Arisa's cheerleading outfit.
She had 3 different cosplays. She had her cheerleading outfit, she had her bear outfit, and she had her... There was one part, I don't know if you caught it, where she was dressed as an alien, and she was playing with 2 Men in Black figures.
Absolutely not. That went over my head.
That was my favorite. So Arisa's costumes were cool. I just like the surrealness of it. Like, it was like really... Like, I normally, when we watch those episodes, I have no idea where it's going to go. But even more so this episode, I'm like, where the fuck is this going to go?
Yeah, I got really weird really quickly.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I liked it, especially after last week's kind of like downer-esque episode with Puko and...
Puko!
Yeah, so maybe because it's still fresh in my mind. I have no real dislikes. So yeah, it was a nice episode. It was a really good rebound episode.
Yep, agreed.
Next up, we have your favorite show.
Chaos Child?
Yes.
All right. Oh, gosh. Okay, so...
Under our special.
All right. Nice subtle way of reminding me to keep it short, asshole. So basically, this episode goes back into like Yuki's background story, kind of. Not Yuki, sorry. It's Uki. 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 She is the girl that they kidnapped from that facility like an episode or 2 ago. And they noticed that, I guess, after the events of like the giant like earthquake followed by all that, black fire, she has stopped aging / growing. We don't really know what's happening to her, but she hasn't really grown or aged since the events have happened. Because she runs into one of the other characters who recognizes her from when they grew up in middle school together, and she's like, hey, you kind of look the same. So that was interesting. They believe that her powers are... She has like the ability to like alter one's memories to like kind of like make them think that they did something when they totally did not. Like, for example, there's one woman who's trying to like drive her to like a shelter of some sorts, and in the woman's mind, she did drop her off, but in reality, she drove her back to the facility. And that's when you realize at the end of, I think it was last episode, like the facility, like all the people were gone. So that it's safe to say that her powers have something to do with altering memories. They also identify the attacker of last episode, like pyrokinetic chick, as Senri, who is a close friend to Kurusu. So they're like, they're like, we don't know how this is gonna play out. Also, they realize that the date of the next killings that happened all those years ago is like coming up, like the anniversary. So they're like, okay, another psychic is going to be targeted. And at this point, two of the main characters are, psychic. So they're like, shit, we have to stick together. So the whole day, nothing happens. And then, everything's cool. And then the main character, Taku, asked for a menu. They just hung out a menu and ate a bunch of shit all day. Like, that's all they did. Nothing happened until he asked for a menu. And then, Sumer sticker! And then he started freaking the fuck out. So nothing... Other than that, nothing really happened. Arisa was totally like, all right, I'm going to find the Senri chick. I'm going to fucking kill her before she kills me. She's like, I am not about to fucking die today. Not today, bitches. And then Senri is like, JK, I'm going to find you first. And then she shows her face towards like the clinic where they're all hiding out. Lots of suspense this episode. Everyone's kind of freaking out. It was pretty good. I'm can't wait for next episode. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Moving on,
we have Demi-chan, which we also just watched together. And in this episode, I don't know, it's kind of hard to really reiterate what happened in this episode because it felt like nothing happened in this episode.
Yeah, like it just introduced like two characters.
Yeah, it was introducing there's a detective who only basically specializes in succubuses.
Ugaki.
Succubi, yeah. Ugaki. And then Kurtz, his apprentice / partner who looks like, I don't know, a middle school student, like a middle school boy, has blonde hair, blue eyes. My theory is it's a female succubus that just looks like a guy. The episode doesn't really tell you what it is. He definitely has some kind of resistance to succubi, and that's why he's able to interact with what's her name again? Sato, yeah. So the whole episode's about her. She runs into the kid and she meets up with the police officer again, and they kind of reminisce about her past and how she's grown so far. And then he talks with
Takahashi?
Yeah, Takahashi.
I don't know how I'm like amazing with these names all the time.
I know. Well, you haven't had 5 years. And also, this, if I'm not recalling names, it's literally because there was no one in this episode. Like, it was Takahashi and Sato, and that was it. Like, Hikari, Machi, Yuki, the rest of them, they were, like, I think in the episode for a total of
like 2 minutes.
Like, less than that. Like, a minute total screen time. I did not like this episode at all. It was a really dry, not any real comedy. I don't like either of the new characters that were introduced. Maybe I'll grow to like, was it Ukage? Ugaki, yeah. Maybe I'll grow to like Ugaki more because he kind of seems like a stoic, father-y type figure to Sato. But he was just dry. It's a comedy, and he's just like this dry, stoic-y, older figure. He's not cool like Hikari's dad is. And Kurtz was kind of cool, and he got his own time to interfere with the other students and stuff.
Yeah, I like Kurtz more.
Kurtz can work, but the whole episode was just like dry flashback to Sato's past and more serious. And it doesn't help that the cast wasn't there, so it was like,
I did like that one scene where Sato was freaking out about Takahashi, like,
that was a really good scene.
That was a good scene. God, it was so intense.
It was intense, and it was like, I was thinking when I was watching, like, how many times did they have to retake the scene? Because that voice actor was like that on point for the whole stumbling over her words and everything.
Yeah.
For like, it was literally like, it was like her rambling for about a minute and a half and like stumbling over her. I'm like, Jesus, they must have like shot this so many times.
Also, I couldn't just understand like Ugaki, even though he was like an officer of the law, was just like totally just like not abiding by the rules of being in like a school. Like, he literally was like breaking the law, even though he's an officer. Like, it was one thing when he didn't wear his shoes in, but he literally started like taking out a cigarette in a school. Like, even in America, like, people don't just smoke indoors, like in a school of all places. Like, I was telling Jeffrey, I'm like, I'm surprised you didn't just take out like a bong and just start like ripping from it. Like,
if this was a more serious show, I'd be like, oh, there's something to this character. He might be some kind of like, he's not what he says he is, but I think we could take it at face value that he's just a detective.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything deeper than that.
Agreed.
So
moving on.
Yep, your turn.
Fuka. All right. So last time we left off in Fuka, they were all about to like, in the middle of like kind of a riot. They were all about to like perform for the first time at the school festival.
Yeah, the firebombing.
Yeah. Funny enough, they're about to go on, and as they're about to play, they finally throw said bottle, and I'm telling you, it's the strongest fucking bottle on earth. Because not only does it cut like the main character Haruna in the head, it also just like breaks like the tail end of his guitar. Like just breaks like, but it's a fucking bottle. Like, how did it do it? Like,
it's a Japanese bottle. It's really strong.
Oh my god, it's like
recycling.
Fucking plexifiber or some shit. Like, Jesus Christ, a strong bottle. Anyways, then his family starts like yelling at the audience, like, oh, stop doing that. And then they're like, oh, more people to bully. Yeah, let's fuck with them too. So I think they're starting to look really fucking bad. And then Koyuki is like, all right, guys, it's me, Koyuki. Stop harassing those people. And then they're like, all right, we'll just crowd around you and harass you instead because you're like one girl and we're like 50 men. And then that's when you think it's about to get really bad or she's about to get like raped or something. Heaven forbid. Then they finally start performing. They like the performance. They're like, oh my god, it's so great. Yeah, look at them, they're performing. So they start cheering for them. And then for the next song, Koyuki joins. And they whatchamacallit, they note that what's her name? Oh yeah, Koyuki. Koyuki sings in unison with Fuka during like the song where she like invites them to sing up together, as opposed to harmony, which is like, you know, they're like, he's like, oh shit, Koyuki is like really competing with this bitch, or else he would just sing harmony with her. So I thought that was really cool. I like how Koyuki is like shows that like competitive streak in her, even if it's very subtle, but it's still there. So yeah, it's a good live all around. Koyuki apologizes like she should, like, you know, like she fucked up. This is all her fault. Sorry. Like when you're the idol, you have to take special care.
Freudian slip.
Special care of what you do and what you say, because they're gonna have like crazy effects, like, you know, a riot at a school event, for example. Unfortunately, because of said scandals, Koyuki ends up having to cancel all of her events, all of her TV appearances, even her concert, eventually, because she ends up losing her voice. Like, due to all the stress of the whole scandal, which I'm like, once again, this is kind of all your fault to begin with, because no one told you to confess your love to that guy on TV. And then Haruna is all like, oh my god, I can't reach her. It's as if, you know, she has to stay away from me or something, because it's company policy at this point, because of the scandal. So he goes out of his way to find her. And then the episode ends in embrace. Like, they're like hugging each other like in the winter, which is cool and all, but like they're both being fucking stupid. Like, literally, this whole thing started because someone took a picture of you guys doing something intimate. Now you guys are hugging in the mid, like literally in public. Like, anyone can snap a picture of you, and like that's it. Like, you're fucked. So yeah, that's basically what happened. Basically, her life is going to shit. The band is doing well, however, because of their first show. I'm interested in seeing what happens next week. We'll see. Next,
we shall see. Next up is Gabriel Dropout, which you know what? Actually, shit, what happened? Oh yeah, right. So the episode opens up with Saitanya bringing a gun to school, which, like, from a Western perspective, is doubly funny. Just because, all right, Japan, I get that you're loose with your rules and like there aren't that many shootings, but to see Satania just bring
the gun. She's like, hey, look at this Magnum.
Look at this Magnum I bought, Gabe, and I'm gonna shoot you with it.
And no one is even like saying anything.
Yeah, no one is saying shit to her, and she just like, fucking brandishing her Magnum around the classroom. That shit was hilarious. The second half of it, or rather, it was broken into 3 parts. The second third of it was Satania challenging Gabe to a shogi match with Raphael being the judge, and since no one apparently knows how to play shit, they just take advantage of Satania and just give a bunch of bullshit rules and like bribing her pieces and fucking like just using special attacks and shit. They fuck her over, and then the final part of the episode was kind of a Halloween themed, whether you try to get Gabe to celebrate Halloween and dress up like was she a cat or something? They gave her like a cat outfit. Yeah, it was a good episode. I liked it.
It was. I just love how like every time Satania is like some stupid shit about to happen with Satania, Raphael literally magically appears. She's just like, and she literally makes a note of it. She's yes, I'll always be wherever Satania is.
Yeah, they call her out on that. The gun scene was hilarious. Yeah. I also really liked the I don't know, I feel like I say it every week, but like the comedy episode was really strong. And also Raphael's Halloween costume was super cute. She was like a pumpkin or something. Yeah, she was dressed as a pumpkin.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because like last week or the week before, you were like, "Oh, I don't like." It's kind of like whatever. Like they're always picking on Satania, and at this point, I'm like, you know what? If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Like, cause it just works so well. Like I literally can't get bored of this.
Yeah, I get it. It's like the winningest formula because I'm not tired of it yet. And even though it's the same style of joke, it manages to stay fresh. I do still wish there was more diversity in the jokes, but you know what? I'll accept it. I'll accept that Satania is just there to be bullied, and that's like the crux of all the humor in this show.
And it works.
And it still works. Week. Yeah, until it doesn't work, it works.
Yeah,
pretty much.
What is next?
Next up, we have Maid Dragon. Is it Maid Dragon? Yeah, it's Maid Dragon.
So essentially, Kana goes to her friend's house. Do you know her friend's name?
Saikawa. I finally learned it.
What?
Saikawa.
Yep.
I finally memorized it.
I'm definitely gonna remember that right now because that has a lot of vowels in rapid succession of each other. But yeah, she goes to Saikawa's house and immediately Kobayashi falls in love with, quote unquote, the older sister because the older sister ends up being like a total maid enthusiast. And Kobayashi is also a maid enthusiast, so they're like, oh my god, let's bond about it. And then it's funny because Toru is like super jealous and trying to like take her away from it. But at some point, even she realizes that she just can't even like handle it. And at some point, she has to like, escape, like escapes the room. And they're like, "No, come back. Talk about maids." It was pretty funny. Let's see what else happens. Lukoa. I forget the full name, but I just call it Lukoa.
Cheater.
That's the name she gives herself.
I know, but cheater.
Anyways, she finally moves to Earth, or to this world, quote unquote, and she literally summons herself under the guise of her being summoned as a demon by a bunch of like magical users who are trying to summon a demon, and she's like, "Oh, you summoned me instead. Let me live here," which is funny because it's like. It almost backfires at one point. Like she like asks Kobayashi and the rest of them to convince the boy who summoned her to stay. And then instead they almost try to convince him to kick her out instead. That was pretty funny. Also, she's a low-key child molester.
Low-key.
maybe mid-key.
Yeah.
And then I think the last chunk of the episode is dedicated to like Fafnir and Takiya's episode. Takiya is Kobayashi's coworker, and it literally just shows him. I actually don't remember much about the game except literally he's just playing.
Yeah, they're just playing games and
They're
chilling
playing-
together. This is
yeah.
literally the bromances of romances. They're just
Yeah.
chilling, eating dinner, playing video games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, meanwhile, I'm in the background like, just fuck already.
Yeah.
I know it won't happen because the show belongs to lesbians, but it's a good dream to have.
Yeah, this was literally like shipping the episode. Each part was broken up into a different ship.
Oh yeah, I totally didn't mention how like Kana and
you
Saikawa had their
fucked
own.
up.
They totally had their like own moment where they're like talking, and she's like, "I want to be closer to you," and then Kana literally is all like, "I'm about to do something that looks like sex."
I'm pretty sure Kana was trying to have sex with Saikawa at that point. Just because, like, I know Kana looks like a kid, but she is like a 100-year-old dragon and stuff, and she does know what sex is. And it was kind of implied, very, very, very implicitly, that she was trying to do something to Saikawa.
So she was gonna rape her.
It's Saikawa. I don't think it'd be rape. But
she's an 8-year-old girl. Yes, it is going to be. It's rape under any circumstance. Sorry.
Listen, Kana was just a bit too frisky. I don't know. They were really cute together, though. Other than that, they were super cute together.
Because Kana is always cute.
Yeah, Kana steals the show. What's her name was really cute too. Quasicodo. I'm not gonna call her Ukoa like you and cheat. But she was cute with her child molesting. And I guess if you're really sensitive to like the topics of, I don't know, 2 8-year-olds kind of borderline going places, and I don't know, an older woman making moves on a 12-year-old or something,
yeah,
then that might rub you the wrong way. But it is a comedy, so I get what they're going for.
Oh, shout out to the 12-year-old because he was very like, they made a joke. They kept joking like he was very like level-headed for like a 12-year-old. Like,
yeah,
you know, he wasn't like the normal 12-year-old who'd been like, oh my god, a girl with big tits who's into me. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, he's also like afraid of her because he thinks she's like a succubus or something. He's gonna steal his soul or something.
Oh yeah, that too.
So he does have a good level head. Okay. Next up is Konosuba. So in this episode, Kazuma basically gets a sword. He gets new equipment. The armor doesn't work out, but he does get a new sword. And he decides to test it out on a mission, which, of course, because it's Konosuba, even though he has like this grand plan, it goes horribly, horribly wrong. And he totally fucks it up. Well, he doesn't fuck it up. Aqua, Megumin, and Darkness fuck it up. And then he just ends up dying. And he has to, the other half of the episode is about resurrecting him and seeing whether he wants to come back or not.
That Eris character.
Oh yeah, Eris was in it, and he kind of falls for Eris and is like, I kind of don't want to go back to you idiots, and I just want to stay here with Eris. And then it takes some convincing from Megumin to bring him back. I liked it. I really liked this episode.
The last joke with Megumin was pretty funny.
Yeah, the last part of the episode.
Oh, also the opening scene when he's like hiding under the kotatsu.
Yeah,
that was pretty hysterical.
There was a lot of good moments. There was a lot of good. My favorite thing was that we finally get an episode with all of them together and not some contrived plot device that keeps one of them away.
Yeah,
for some random reason. I don't really have any dislikes for it.
Okay.
You?
No, not really. Not that I can think of. Oh, shout out to Veneer surviving.
Oh yeah, right. He survived.
Kind of glossed over that. So I'm hoping that he'll be like an actual like recurring character.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Next up is
everyone's favorite.
The worst of the worst.
All right.
You explain the plot and I'll soak in the corner.
So, Kuzuno Honkai. Basically, Hana is like, hey, Mugi, let's date seriously. And she does really try. And then, in addition, she tries ending with Echan because she's like, you know, she's like, Echan is like actually a friend to me. I don't want to keep using her anymore. And then Echan is just like, fuck it. Nope. We've gone this far. I want us to be together, even if it means nothing. I do not care about anything that you do ever. Meanwhile, Hana's still like just overcome with hate for Akane to the point where she's just like this is the episode where she really tries to exact her revenge against Akane, as opposed to just like sulking about it and being mopey about it. She's like, now I'm actually gonna do shit about it. So now she's trying to take everything from Akane. That's literally kind of like what her plan is. And she starts, funny enough, with the boy toy. I don't know his name. I literally just call him Boy Toy. Like the guy who was with Akane.
Mugi's. Oh no, Akane's ex-student. And Mugi's knows him somehow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call him Boy Toy and I know his name. So yeah, she tries getting close to him. It comes a little. It gets a little close to her fucking it up, especially when they're in the karaoke bar. Like she almost chokes, but then she's able to bring him back last second. And it's funny enough because she chokes because she's like, this is really gross what's happening. This is really bad. But then she's like, but no, I need to, I remember why I'm doing this, to fuck over Akane because she's an awful fucking person. Luckily enough, she convinces the guy to not have sex. So I think she's trying to find that line between where I can be like Akane and get my revenge, but I don't have to be a totally soulless cunt like her to do so, which is obviously impossible for obvious reasons. So that's pretty much the episode.
Right. So I was struggling to describe how I feel about the series. Don't sigh at me. I was struggling because it's like, and I finally realized it's like if I was a food critic and someone gave me poison, like they gave me poisonous blowfish, and as I'm writhing in pain on the floor dying, my boss was just like, but you have to give me your critique of how the food tasted. I'm just dying, and I'm like, it hurts. This show is literally poison to my brain. Because I'm watching it and my brain is like, why? This is bad. This is bad stuff. You shouldn't be watching this. And I have to watch it. That's how I feel. Nonetheless, putting my personal feelings aside, I'm going to give my best critique I can of why it is that I don't like the series. Or this episode in particular.
I will give my personal opinion why I don't like the series, but I'm going to have no bias in it.
All right, all right, fine. This is my personal opinion. My critique. I'm trying to be as objective as possible with this critique.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that.
I did like a few things. I did like how they showed Hana breaking down and kind of going through her whole phase of like, oh, I need to get revenge on Akane, and this is how I'm going to do it. Do you see how when you have, that's what I was missing from the last episode. The last episode was just a series of random shit happening. This episode, Hana was like, no, this is my plan. So it made it much more in character for her to do this whole thing with the boy toy, as we're going to be calling him, I guess. So it made sense for her to go after him and do all this crazy shit. So that I liked. It at least added that much character to her. What I don't like about any of this, and it has to do with this episode, and has to do with the series so far. First off, it started as a realistic, semi-realistic drama. And ever since then, it's just been nothing but forced drama and just random, they're just throwing stuff and seeing what sticks. They're just throwing a bunch of random shit and seeing like, whoa, this is happening, and this is happening, and this is happening. How does this make you feel? How does this make you feel? How does it make you? And it's just meant to be very like antagonistic towards the viewer, and I get that, but it's not. If you don't like that kind of thing, it's really grating. And the problem with that is, Andrew, can you tell me why Hana likes the teacher?
Because he was there for her when no one else was.
When they were kids. Have you seen any interaction since then between Hana and the teacher that would indicate that they're meant to be, or that they have some kind of special connection?
Like in terms of
do they even have any contact at all?
Yeah, they had dinner. Like They had dinner with each other. Like, went to her house and had dinner.
And was there anything special about that dinner? Did they bond anyway? So that's my problem with the series. No one has any reason to like anyone else. Why does Hana at one point Hana goes to movie and is like, I think we can make this work. I love you. Why? They've done nothing. There's no bonding. They never dated. Everything is just them having sex with each other. The only person in this series who has a legitimate reason to like the person that they like is Echan liking Hana, because I've seen them bond and I've seen them get along and I see that they have something there. Everyone else is just like, I like the sensei. So that's my character.
Wait. First of all, Mugi and Hana actually have, like, they're actually compatible. They're actually compatible.
In what way?
Because, well, I feel like at first they were like, oh, well, we both have the similar problem. Let's just date and use each other. Like, whatever. That's cool. But I guess, and I know it sounds fucked up, in that sense, they found some kind of common ground and they saw each other as human people and they acknowledged that, and they saw each other at their most vulnerable because they know how fucked up they were, because you're
extrapolating on the fact that they just had sex with each other. That's all that happened.
They didn't even have sex.
I'm sorry, they didn't have sex. They played around with each other. Have they ever
outside?
They didn't hang out where? They hang outside and like say a couple of words to each other.
So I'm sorry, do you want this to be like all those other anime where they have like a amusement theme park episode where they could go and have fun? But you know what?
Like, now I'm gonna compare it to, I read an NTR manga like a couple days ago. You may guys, I forget the name of it. It's like NTR Trap or something. But it was a Yuri/NTR. And what that show does, or what that manga does, that this show doesn't do, is 95% of that is serious, and it's about sex and all that stuff. Fine, that works. But then there was like a couple of panels each chapter, not a whole page, not a big screen, where it shows something that tells me something about their character. Like there's one chapter where you see, or one panel in one chapter where you see them on a roller coaster, and one girl is scared and the other girl is happy. That tells me something about the character. One girl likes roller coasters, the other girl doesn't. I don't know shit about any of these characters except that they're all hungry for cock. That's the only thing I know about these characters. There's nothing to their character other than sex. And that's my final problem I'm going to bring up, is that there's well, that's not the final problem. I'll bring up another problem. But in this case, there are too many shows, and I hate it when we watch romances and they're just like, you'll watch the whole show, the whole romance, and then it'll end with like a kiss, or maybe not even a kiss. And it's like, well, that's pointless. It's a romance. You have to have some kind of intimate relationship in the romance. This is the opposite of that, where it's a romance built on nothing but an intimate relation. Like there's nothing but sex in any of these relationships. There's no bonding over anything. I don't know what any character likes. No one has any character development outside of them just wanting to have sex with other characters. Nobody has anything. I don't know anything about any character except who they want to have sex with. That's it. That's the only thing we know about all these characters.
I think you learned. Wow. When I sarcastically suggested that amusement park episode, you answered my question, and that answer is yes. Because you actually want that.
Yes, because but you know what? It tells me something about their character. It tells me what they like. It tells me what they dislike. It tells me something about that they have something outside.
Who watch this anime? They know what they're signing up for. You
can have a good drama and also have character development. That is not. They're not mutually exclusive.
If I saw that,
you can have a well-rounded character. If I literally saw
that would be like such a filler. That'd be.
It's not a filler. It's called building character. I get to see why these characters are the way. Again, in the same manga that I read, there's another chapter where these two girls are in love with each other. Why are they in love with each other? It seemed random at first, and then there's one point where her boyfriend, one of the girls' boyfriend she's with, is abusing her, and then she runs over. You get to see this chapter from her point of view, and she runs over to her best friend who she's in love with, and her friend is like kind of stroking her. Oh, I know why they love each other now, because she's like a shelter to her.
Hana knows why she loves the guy, and
I don't know, because all they show is
the only flashbacks of showing.
That's the problem. It's flashbacks of her when she was a kid being like, "I love this sensei." All right, now show me presently why. What is it? It's been years. Why does she still love him? What is it about him other
than just go away for that when you're a teenager?
You can't be using these cheap cop-out excuses. You can still show the freaking like their relationship with each other. You can still show it. That was my problem with it. Also, there's too many subplots. And this episode opens up like 5 more subplots. That's my problem with it.
Well, I think it was a really good episode. I do agree that last episode was a bit much, but I think it definitely resolved itself in being super hypersexual. There wasn't that much sexual action. It was literally just focused on her trying to be like Akane, and while trying to reconcile with her best friend, you know, there's a lot of good moments. I'm sorry, if you can't handle an anime where it's going to literally just fuck you up inside, then I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's not even that. You can fuck me up on the inside without being a shitty, like, you can do other things besides just forced drama. And I hate that word, but this is forced drama.
For me, I don't care about some stupid roller coaster ride. I don't want to see.
Listen, if all you want to see is just random shit happening, and like, I get it, stuff happens, but this is not realistic in the slightest. This is not a realistic relationship dynamic between any of these characters. It's just shit happening for you to watch, to be entertained by. That's all it is. And if you get it, fine. If you don't like that type of atmosphere, you're not gonna like the show.
Okay, fine. We'll move on only because we're trying to keep this under an hour.
Yeah.
Next
up is Little Witch Academia. This episode was about transformation magic. Ako is just shitty at using transformation magic, and it backfires to the point where she ends up giving herself bunny ears and like a bunny face. She tries to, or rather a bigwig, well, ironically enough, a bigwig lord named Lord Andrew comes through for, like, I guess a fair type thing, and they throw him a big party, and he kind of wanders off with Ako, while Ako goes and looks for this magic item that's supposed to reveal her hidden potential. And that's pretty much the summary of the episode. I just find it hilarious that since Andrew dropped this episode, like, the show last week, and now we have Lord Andrew that is infatuated with Ako, that Andrew actually hates.
Yeah, I still like Ako. And he was like, oh, and he's trying to play it up like, oh, he's actually like you. And I'm like, no.
He's a
huge, the main difference, which has to do everything to do with this anime, is the fact that he hates magic and I love magic. So, boom, that's it. That's enough to separate us.
I don't know. The episode was kind of boring, honestly. It was just Ako and this guy running around. I don't care anything about this guy. I don't even know if he's gonna appear again. We didn't get to see anything from Susie or Lotte or anything like that. So it was a bland, not funny episode. I did kind of like it. Had a bit of theatricalness to it with the fair and all that, but other than that, meh. That was it. That's my impression of the episode. It could have been better. It was not as strong as the last couple of episodes. All right, then. We have Europe next.
Oh, Kiss Caught a Big Bang. There are my notes for it. Okay, there's a scandal again. Basically, Adam was caught with the girl, and they took a picture of it, and everyone's like losing their shit. Ironically enough, the girl was actually a male idol, who's going to debut like that night, I believe. So, which is really funny. What was the name of the group? Unicorn Junior, which is like the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. And then while they're waiting, so basically they're being told to wait. Both groups are going to wait in the same place while the storm blows over, so to speak. And meanwhile, the CEO is just using the scandal for hype for the debut of Unicorn Junior. And then they essentially, while they're just sticking around, they're like, oh, let's have dumb competitions to prove who's the better idol group, which is one of the stupid things, which I thought was going to be really stupid at first. And then, funny enough, it became like, it's turning into my guilty pleasure. Like, it actually was kind of funny towards the end. Like, the last thing they have to do to prove who the best one is, quote unquote, they literally have to confess their love to a bust. Like, literally the bust of Pythagora.
Is that the picture you sent me?
Yes, that's the picture I got, exactly. And that's what the guy said about the Pythagorean theorem. I'll prove my love and the Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah,
that one. That is actually a great line. That'd only be used on that person ever. But it was so stupid. It was actually really funny. I actually enjoyed it. I don't know. This episode is actually like the best episode. And ironically, it was all because of Adam, who I still don't like as a person, but It was really fun, good episode. I enjoyed it. Next
is what, Masamune-kun? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this episode, the entire group basically goes out to Aki's villa for their summer vacation, and Yoshino runs to Masamune and basically tells him, if you don't make any progress with your relationship during this trip, I'm gonna out you to Aki and let her know about all this shit. So he's under super stress to get everything right, to the point where he just outright it says he's her boyfriend to the secretary, the Aki's secretary, and then you find out that her secretary is like obsessed with Aki and doesn't want her to have any boyfriend.
Oh my gosh,
and she
so
hates
great.
men. Okay, we're gonna have a different opinion on this, but she hates men, and then she tries to sabotage him with a test of courage, and it backfires so hard.
Wait. You're saying you don't like her?
I don't like her.
She's so funny.
No, she was not. I did not like her.
Hysterical because she's she's
shrewd. Over the top and shrewd. Yeah.
Yes, I love that's what makes her so funny.
But I feel like she didn't need to be in the episode. Like if it was just them in the villa by themselves, it would have been a better episode because then you would have had Neko fucking around.
It would have been a good episode, but I don't think it would have been.
You would have had
good.
Yoshino doing shit. It would have been a better. She distracted so much from the episode and what it could have been. I just didn't like her. I think the characters on their own were enough to provide way better entertainment than introducing this new character who, while quirky, is not more entertaining than what would have happened between them if they were left.
I feel like one, you can't prove that because you're not directing it.
It's way more entertaining to watch Neko, Aki, and Yoshino fight amongst each other.
They're not going to fight over
Neko and Aki. She
literally said, I'm only doing this because I thought the same thing too. And then she literally goes out of her way to say, I'm only doing this to keep face for the secretary, Yuisaki.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If the secretary wasn't in this episode at all, and it was just them on the villa, shit would have went down between Aki and Neko, and I feel like that would have been a better premise for an episode than
it would have. It could have happened. It could have happened regardless. The point is, Aki's not at that point where she's like, "Oh my god, she's stealing my man."
No, but she is jealous. She would. It wouldn't be like
stupid,
about stealing her man.
So she would never admit it.
She wouldn't. Stupid. She doesn't have to admit it. It could just be like a battle between the girls about fucking bullshit. So I don't know. I just feel like I would have enjoyed the episode better if it was about that.
I don't know.
It's a what
I
if,
feel like they
admit,
have. I feel like there's more than enough time in the series for that to happen.
I
think
for such a perfect chance for it though.
For the beach episode, I think she was totally funny. I thought she was well done. Like I like that it was almost as if like a premonition of like what Aki could actually like grow into if she did actually kept up that pace of like hating men for whatever reason. I thought that was also interesting. Like I thought her for that episode, the introduction of her character was somewhat like important in that sense.
I don't think she's gonna play any role.
No. She probably will probably never see her again. But so, like for that,
I mean, that's my problem with her. Like, if you're gonna have a one-off character, what's the point? You don't need her. You could have done a perfectly good episode without her, and she's never gonna appear again. So I don't get what the point is. It just overly complicates things.
It didn't complicate anything. It was just a beach episode.
I know.
But like every beach episode.
I would have loved to see a beach episode where like Aki just like slaps Neko or something. I was expecting shit to happen.
Neko, they really says Neko literally tries to get along with women. That's her strength. And
no, I said Aki slaps Neko, not Neko slaps Aki.
No, but Aki wouldn't do that because she's trying to look good amongst all women, Neko included.
But if they're on the beach alone, she doesn't have to look good in front of anybody. Aki, Masamune knows how she is. Yoshi knows how she is. It wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, but Shuri was there,
which is why
Shuri doesn't know. Shuri doesn't know anything about Aki.
Yeah,
so
they could have done it in private. They could have done it in private.
I guess.
I don't know. I appreciate that's the other. Shuri doesn't add anything to the formula either. But anyway, yeah, I didn't feel like it was as strong as the last episode because of that. I did like the scene where Yoshino dressed as Jason chasing the secretary.
That was amazing.
That was hilarious. But yeah. So moving on. Next up, we have Seiren. Okay. This episode was literally an emotional roller coaster for me because it starts off with the name. The title of the episode is Brother Complex. And as you remember, when the first arc started and she Miyamai was the end of the episode with her brother walking in on her taking a shower, and it was like all sensual. And I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be something about her and her brother. And the name of the episode's Brother Complex. It's gonna be some shit that's gonna go down. But no, I was pleasantly surprised by the fact that this was the best episode of the series, precisely because nothing happened. And it was I felt like I was watching Amagami SS again. It was just so sweet and cute and fluffy. It saved me from Kuzu no Honkai. After Kuzu no Honkai, I watched this, and my faith in humanity was restored. Essentially, what happens is Soichi gets concerned over Miyamai's like obsession with games and how that affected her past. So she goes to Tsuneki, and she says when they were in middle school, they used to game together, and she would play a lot with the boys. And they would get the wrong impression, essentially. They would think, oh, she's into me, and she was not. She just wanted to play games with them, like literal video games. And it led to infighting among the men, and it kind of devastated her. So she stopped playing games and stopped making friends and all of that. And now Tsuneki's concerned, and Soichi's concerned that since she's getting back into games, it could happen again. Soichi ends up going to her house and meeting with her. And they get along at first, and her brother shows up, and they quickly kill the whole brother complex thing when Soichi even is like, because her brother's like, oh yeah, she got into games because of me, and she wanted to beat me, and I'm like, oh god, I see where this is going. And then Soichi just outright says to her, oh, do you have a brother complex? And she's like, maybe a little bit, but nothing serious, something like that. So it just like completely plays off of that, and it just like falls to the wayside. They clearly just see each other as brother and sister. She might have a little admiration for him, but it's nothing serious. And I don't know, it just ended on a really cute note with them getting along well together. And he even asked her out on a date after Comic Kit. And that's the last episode of the arc next week. So hopefully it ends on a really sweet, light note. We don't need Kuzu no Honkai. I have Kuzu no. I don't need any crazy batshit crazy.
No, I'm not. But I was going to reference that. I was going to reference Seiren and say it's going to end just like the first arc.
I hope not. You know what? Even if this episode was so nice. It's my episode of the week, by the way. It was so nice and fluffy that even if it ends with them just being friends, I'm fine with that. It was such a cute episode. I'm fine with that as long as it's nothing crazy. But yeah. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, moving on to Super Lovers, right?
Yep, Super Lovers.
Because we have like 2 left. All right, we got this. 13 minutes, bitches. Which is unfortunate because Super Lovers was actually also probably my episode of the week. Essentially starts out with Haru going to the hospital to get a checkout for the accident that happened 7 years ago that killed his parents. First time getting a checkup after all that time, and first time going to see the therapist. So Ren drags Haru. And the therapist is actually pretty cool. I don't know, for some reason I tend to like therapists because they're like, therapists, and they seem to like be decent people half the time. And the therapist wastes no time at all. Like after the checkup, he's like, hey, let's talk about this. So why didn't you visit your parents' grave all this time after 7 years? You never went there once. And they don't show what happens after that conversation. Apparently ends badly, and it's implied that Haru just got up and left. So that was unfortunately the end of that. Then it turns into yet another beach episode that happens. Natsuo comes along. Natsuo is Haru's cousin. Oh god. Yeah, Ren kind of asked Haru about sex. He literally just like, so when can we start having sex? And he's just like, Nani? And he's like, no, you're too young for that. And he's like, no, let's have sex. And then he's like, no, never. We cannot have sex right now. No. And then one of the owners of the cafe that Haru works with, you may not know, I'm not sure if I said much about him. He's actually a cross-dresser. And him and his whole gay squad rolls up, and literally hilarity ensues. Like, literally. So basically, a little bit later in the episode, Haru tricks Ren into saving him from drowning. And then after because Ren didn't know how to swim, but then Ren, like, oh god, Haru's drowning. Now I know how to magically swim, because that's how it works in real life. Then Haru's like, yeah, see, I told you, he can learn anything when he tries. And then Ren's like, you tricked me, and literally just headbutts the shit out of him. Then the gay squad literally is just like saying, like whispering shit, like, I don't know, bitch. Like after he put you all of that, you're just gonna take that? I think you should let him pay for it a little. And then he's like, you know what? You're fucking right. And then and then at the end, I thought it was gonna be like a cute thing, because after that he's like, hey, Haru, come here. And then they kiss. I'm like, oh, that's cute. He's gonna pretend to punish him. And then all you hear is chomp. Yo, he fucking bit his tongue. He's just like gushing blood out of Haru's mouth. And Ren is just like, and it spits out Haru's blood. I'm like, oh my god. Ren is so badass. I love that scene. That ending scene was so hysterical. Yo, shout out to Gay Squad rolling up and teaching Ren how to punish his man for starting some type of shit. Good episode. Can't wait for the next one. Last but not least.
Yeah, last, because there's no Yojo Senki. There is a Yojo Senki, but it's a recap, so we're not talking about that. We have Urara. Actually, I really love this episode. The first half of the episode was all about the girl studying incantations, and Nono ends up shining because she's able to sing the incantations to memorize them. And the second half of the episode has Komei's past and why she wants to become a witch and study divination and all of that.
Did you say witch?
Yes, she wants to become a witch.
Oh, okay.
So I'm surprised, because for a show that I originally started out as cute girls doing cute things, the last few episodes have really built on the characters. Like, they actually go into their backstories and their motivations for doing shit. Komei's whole story is she was tutored by a witch, and she was just so impressed this witch can do some magic and all of that, so she tries to learn from her, but stuff starts happening in the city that she's in. She's in a town, and there's like a plague sweeping through, and they just start blaming the witch.
Jesus.
So the witch is like, all right, to just save her, she leaves, otherwise people are going to start blaming her family for the bad shit happening. And then Komei just takes it on herself to be the best witch she can be, so that she can meet her old teacher again. And it was really well done in the sense that it had like a Peter Pan vibe to it, where she's like teaching her how to fly and believe in herself and think about her imagination rather than being just a rich girl and all that. And it was really nice, and it's good to see the characters get development, and it was funny and all of that. So I didn't really, I guess if I had dislike something, her story is kind of cliche in that the whole thing happening at the end felt forced and cliched. But other than that, it was a really well done episode. I'm glad to see that it can balance character development with the comedy without sacrificing it. So I enjoyed it. Look forward to more. Great episode. And overall, really good week in anime.
Yeah, I don't have much to complain about. Pretty good. And with that being said, with under an hour, like I aimed for.
Yes, under an hour.
Yes, this is better.
Though if we did have Yojo Senki, it would have been over an hour. I just want to point that out.
No, it wouldn't. We have like 7 minutes left. Definitely not. Oh, take us away, Capitan.
So, thanks again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you next week.
Check us out on Twitter.
Yes, later.
Bye.